chapters we'll try to discuss. This is like very interesting discussion of Puranjana episode going on in Bhagavatam. So this episode of Puranjan, as we have seen last time, that how like Puranjana, it was a story, actually allegorical story, not real story that happened, but Narada Muni is kind of narrating this story to Prachina Barhi so that he will come out of his karmakandic mentality. So there he talked about a person called as Puranjana who want to enjoy in a city. So he was searching for a city and he entered into a Bharatavarsha. So like city has 9 gates, which is like compared to body. And he married a woman called Puranjani. So that woman is compared to material intelligence. And through that material intelligence, wherever that woman is going, this person, in through whichever gate he is going, this person is also going. So that means wherever that material intelligence directs one to one particular indriya, so that soul is also moving. So like that full analogy of a jiva taking shelter of material intelligence or ignorance and getting bound in this world is being discussed through this pastime. So that is being completely analyzed. Then also last time we have seen how Puranjana goes to forest to hunt and his queen becomes angry. So that means while being engaged in this material world, sometimes a living entity also performs a vikarma activities which are compared to hunting. So because of that, there is suffering comes in this world. So because of vikarmic activities. So therefore, Puranjani, who is represented by dharmic intelligence, although he wanted to come back to dharmic intelligence, he will not be immediately come back. So therefore, he will not immediately regain that dharmic intelligence, but only after performing several paschatapa, going austerities, then he will come back. So in this way, Puranjana sometimes perform adharmic activities and suffer, and then again becomes dharmic and starts enjoying with his wife. But then the next it describes about the uh, character of a Chandavega. Even dharmic intelligence is also not sufficient, because ultimately this body will be attacked by this Chanda, Vega and Kalakanya, which is represented by old age and death. So that whole analogy is given. The serpent, when old age comes, the serpent will become weak, and so kings and citizens are feared, and Bhaya and Prajvara will attack. So slowly that Puranjana loses that battle, and his 5 serpent which is protecting the city, it comes out of the city. So that means he comes out of that body, and so that is being described. So when he comes out, that body got destroyed, he enters into he becomes a woman in his next life. So that woman, she is the daughter of King Vidarbha. So she is called as Vaidarbi. So in this life, when she became Vaidarbi, so that time a person named as Malayadvaja marries Vaidarbi, and he gives rise to one daughter and 7 sons. So this daughter is named as Asitekshana. So Asitekshana means one whose eyes are fixed on Krishna, like black, like that. So this analogy here that is being mentioned is that the Puranjana, when he is traveling in different species, when he gets in touch with a devotee, he will attain kind of fortune. So that is being so that is that this Malaya Dvaja is compared to devotee association. So she got the association of devotee in the form of an husband, Malaya Dvaja, and these seven sons, they are kind of described as the like seven processes of devotional service. We know nine processes of devotional service: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam. So last two, Sakyam, Atmani Vedanam, they are very advanced processes. So at least first seven, they are represented by these sons, these seven sons. So in this way, these kind of Vaidarbhi is following Malaya Dvaja. So this Malaya Dvaja, after some time, he retires to the forest and went to perform tapasya. So Vaidarbhi also follows this Malaya Dvaja. So there, Malaya Dvaja, he starts performing severe austerities and he conquered all the dualities and he is only eating very minimally, and then he considered seeing all the things very equally and all the dualities like cold and heat, wind and rain, hunger, thirst. So all these things he was able to conquer, sukha, dukkha, all those things. So in this way, all his impurities are completely removed from his body and he was able to fix his mind on Vasudeva. So in this way, kind of after uh, performing tapasya, he kind of developed complete transcendental knowledge. And after some time, he completely meditated on the Lord Vasudeva and left his body. So in this way, he achieved the Lord. So in this way, by bhakti, he kind of attained the Lord. So this Vaidarbhi, when this Malayadvaja went to forest, she started following, and she is always serving him very nicely. And so when this Vaidarbhi, when she saw that his feet became kind of cold, she kind of understood that this Malayadvaja, he kind of left the body. So, so in this way, she was kind of understood. So she kind of became very unhappy. So seeing her husband left the body, so she cried in that lonely forest, and she started saying, get up, O king! You should protect this person who is suffering here alone." Surrounded by so many thieves, seas are there, so many false kings are there. So in this way, she is kind of lamenting when she is not there. So here, one parallel things that is drawn was, so here Malaya Dvaja is compared to Guru. So whenever Guru leaves the body, it is a duty of a disciple to lament for the death of lament for the absence of the Guru. So that is being implied so in this pastime. So she is like kind of lamenting the she is kind of lamenting the absence of her husband. So and then uh, after some time she was remembered the duties to be performed. So she immediately kind of arranged for a blazing fire there. Uh, and she all the fire kind of wood she collected, placed the husband's body on it, and she lamented, and then she also were kind of prepared to enter the fire with her husband. And that's how she was also planning to do. So in this way, when she was about to enter into that fire, so that time one thing will happen. So uh, this is like uh, this is the thing which was mentioned earlier in the before the pastime is being narrated by Narada Muni, he mentioned that there was a friend to Puranjana before entering into that city. His friend's name is like Avijñata Saka, but he kind of forgot about that friend. So now here it was mentioned that Tatra Purvatara Kaschit Saka Brahmanatman. So like that one, that previous friend that has come in the form of a Brahmana here in front of Vaidarbi. So in the form of a Brahmana he came, and he started talking very pleasing words to pacify the queen. So in this way, she is kind of he is kind of addressing this Puranjana. So who is this Brahmana actually? So who is the unknown friend that Puranjana forgot? So that is actually who is none other than Paramatma, who is always accompanying every jiva in whichever life he is going. So that Paramatma, that friend whom the jiva forgot, he is coming here in the form of a Brahmana and he starts reminding this jiva about her real position. So this is what that Brahmana is kind of saying. So he is asking, Katvam kasyasi kovayam shayano yasya shochasi. Katvam, who are you? Kasyasi, whom do you belong? Who do you belong to? Kovayam shayano yasya shochasi. Who is this man who is lying here for whom you are lamenting? Janasi kim sakhayam me. Do you remember that I am your friend, your old friend? Yenagre vichachartataha. Previously, you moved with me, previously, with whom you moved. So, here, the address of the Paramatma with the Jiva. So, that in that way we can say. So, he is saying, he is reminding the Jiva that who are you actually? To whom you belong. So when he's saying who is lying here, he is my guru, he is my husband. So, but so okay, you are remembering this person who is lying here, but do you remember me? Who am I? You are my friend. So they were like, how did you become my friend? So like that he is asking because previously you wandered with me before creation. Means we are together before creation. So in like as in the Mahavishnu body, Jiva is lying. So um, so did you forget that you experienced happiness in my uh, association? So in this way, he is kind of reminding the Jiva about the like his association with the Lord. And then he is saying that Apismarasi Chatmanam Avijnata Sakam Sake. O Sake, O my dear friend, Apismarasi Chatmanam. Do you remember your old friend who is Avijnata Saka? Hitva mam padavanvichan bhauma bhoga ratogataha. You have give up my dwelling place and in order to enjoy bhauma bhoga ratogataha. In order to enjoy material enjoyment, you left me and you engaged in material enjoyment. So this is like when that lady by that be saying, I do not know anything. So the Paramatma is kind of remembering him. Oh, though you are not recognizing me, hmm, you remember that yourself? You had a friend, Avijñata Saka, did you forget? So, like you had a friend, but you are not recognizing him. So, in this way, some unknown friend you are not recognizing. And so that like Lord, he is kind of reminding the jiva that I am your friend. So please remember. Mm. And giving me up, you kind of became attached to enjoying. That means jiva, he gives up the Lord at the beginning of creation of the universe because of previous karmas. That means at the beginning of creation, from Mahavishnu body, the jiva will come, and at that time, the like his before annihilation, whatever previous karmas are there, those are all stored. So because of those previous karmas, so he becomes again bound. So in this way, you gave up the company of me at the beginning of the universe, and you are searching for a place. Bhoga bhoga, bhauma bhoga ratogataha. You went. Next he says, Amsa aham cha tvam cha. Right? We two are two swans. Sakhayo manasayano. We are friends in a Manasa lake. Abhutam antaravauka sahasra parivatsaran. Previously, for 1,000 years, we don't have any house. So here, the Lord is kind of remembering that we two are Hamsas. We are two pure Atmas. You are Atma, I am Paramatma. We are residing in a in heart. We are like residing in a Manasa lake means we both are residing in heart. So previously, during Mahapralaya, at the time of you are merging in my body, that time we don't have any house. So in this way, we kind of remain there. But Sattvam Vihaya Mambando, but now you have left me, Gato Gramya Matir Mahim, with the material, Gramya Mati, with material intelligence, you have left me and you wanted to enjoy. And you are Vicharan Padaramadrakshi Kasyachin Nirmitam Striya. So one Striya, one woman, constructed a place and you went to that place and started wandering there. So that Striya is actually nothing but Maya. So Maya is the energy of the Lord who created this whole material world. So you left me and in order to enjoy, you started wandering in the place created by that Maya, means that is material world. So you went to this earth. And what is the nature of this earth? What is the nature of this material world? Pancharamam, it has 5 gardens, that means 5 sense objects, like through 5 indriyas. Navadvaram, 9 doors, there are 9 openings for the body, for the prana. And Ekapalam is one protector is there. So that protector is prana. And 3 Koshtakam means 3 treasuries are there, which is like compared to earth, water, and fire. Subkulam means 6 kind of communities are there. So 6 communities are like 5 knowledge senses and the mind together, 6 senses they are there. And then Pancha Vipanam means 5 marketplaces are there. 5 action senses we can perform activities. Pancha Prakriti, there are like 5 gross elements by which this body is made. Stri Dhavam, and there is a one one mistress is also there. So that is one Stri. So that is material intelligence. And then master is also there. That is the husband of the intelligence. So in this way, you have entered into this body, which is compared to all these gardens. So in this way, he is kind of giving, he himself is analyzing all these things. That body which you have entered, these are kind of providing all these things. So like he is the intelligence is compared to that wife, and the man who is the controller of the intelligence, that person, he is the person, Jiva. So Jiva, though he is master, now became controlled by the intelligence, material intelligence. So therefore she became mistress. So, and therefore she is also addressed as the master. So in this way, you kind of started enjoying with that place which was created by that woman. So tasmin tam tvam ramaya sprushto ramamano ashruta smritihi. Without remembering your own self, you started enjoying with that woman. Tat sangat idrisham prapto dasham papi saim prabho. So by her association, you kind of achieved this kind of sinful condition by her association. So in this way, you kind of lost. Actually, you are not what you are thinking. Then she is saying, you are not the daughter of this king of Vidarbha. This hero is not your friend or husband. And previously also, you are not the husband called as Puranjanya. You are not the husband of Puranjani. So who are you? So he is kind of indicating that actually you are a Chit Shakti Jiva, who like whom you belongs to me actually. And this husband, that whoever is this hero, is actually not your friend, but actually I am the friend. I only in the form of him kind of gave you guru. He became guru and taught you devotion to me. So in this way, I acted as your friend. So I am actually your real friend. And previously you are entangled in this city of nine gates. So therefore, you are not the husband of this Puranjani, but at that time also you are a jiva who is covered with ignorance and entangled in the body. So in this way, he is kind of revealing who is actually Puranjani. You are not what you are thinking. So this Maya, this woman, which has kind of created this city, Maya hi esha Maya srushta. So this Maya is actually Maya. This belong to me, created by me only. By this Maya, sometimes people think that he is a man. Sometimes he will think he is a woman. Sometimes he is think he is a eunuch. So like that, people keep on considering with different identities. So, but actually, we are not all these things. Hamsa Pashya Avayorgatim. So, but you should understand our two natures as two pure entities. We are two Hamsas. That means you are Atma and I am kind of Paramatma. So, in this way, he is kind of, this Paramatma is kind of reminding the knowledge of Atma to this person. So, and sometimes we are two pure entities, Samsa. Next, she says, you and I are actually different, and also you and I are actually non-different. But you are not something different me also. Aham bhavan nacha anyastvam. You are not different from me. So you see this properly. The wise doesn't see differences between us in a faulty manner. That means you and me are both spiritual. So he kind of addresses like you are a conscious jiva, you are a jiva and I am Paramatma. You are not anything different from me. So you are my amsha. So you are a conscious entity, so therefore not different from me. So you should see this without anger. So like that he kind of says, but you are my servant and you are my master. So that you should understand how you and me are same and how you and me are kind of different. So try to understand. He kind of gives two analogies. यथा पुरुषमात्मानम् एकम् आदर्श चक्षुषोः. one living entity is there, like a person is there. When he sees his image in a like mirror, and also when he sees his image, when he sees in a eyelid, the two images will be there. In mirror, the two different mirror, the form in the mirror is different in the form in the eye. So like in this way, two, like they are all the same person is appearing in two different forms in the mirror as well as in the eye. So in the polished mirror, we see some larger image, bright without change. But in the eye, we see small image, dull, which is like kind of flickering. So just like one form becomes two different forms, by one, like in one mirror it is not contaminated, but in my eye it kind of contaminated with the qualities. So similarly, you should see the difference between you and me. So antaram, there is a difference between you and me. So I exist in the body as Paramatma, and you exist as the Jiva. So, and as Paramatma, I don't have any covering, and by my will I enter into all the bodies as Antaryami with appropriate size without any change. So, but although I enter, I will never become contaminated. But you are a jiva, small in size, with small brightness like a uh, reflection in a eye. So, therefore, you are influenced by the coverings. So, therefore, but when you get liberated, that time you are also not contaminated. So, in this way, you should understand that we are not different at all times. So, I and you are non different. I am conscious, and you, as my devotee, you are also conscious. You are not dull matter, but we both are different in the sense we are like two images in a mirror and in a eye. So, in this way, that in this way, these like how Lord and Jiva is different at the same time, non-different. One should be understanding. So, and in Bhagavatam, in other places, Lord clearly distinguished himself from the Jiva. Like in Kapila Gita, he mentioned that just like fire is different from blazing coal, and spark, smoke, like that, similarly, the uh, Paramatma is different from a conscious jiva, and also pradhana and the element senses antahkarana. So because he is the witness, so in this way there is a difference exists between jiva and Paramatma. So in this way, the like both, how both are same and differences one should be understanding. So in this way, the Lord, who is always Sachidananda Vigraha, he is not at all covered by ignorance, but he uh, is so in this way Lord, he enlightens this jiva here. So in this way, one swan being instructed by the other swan, who is situated by material, with like this swan who is free from all the material coverings, he is instructing the other swan. So in this way, this other swan also regained his memory, which was lost because of aversion for the Lord. So in this way, like Jiva, he has attained his original position, which is not covered by Prakriti. So he has attained, again attained memory because it was lost currently because of aversion to the Lord, which is how he got that, because he had previously attained his bhakti, devotion to Guru. So because of that, he had kind of attained this thing. So in this way, uh, one should understand that attaining the position of the position of the soul in connection with the Lord. That is the highest goal. Means Jiva's main position as an associate of the Lord with loving position of prema as an associate of the Lord, that one should attain. That is the goal that is being indicated in these statements. So in this way, Narad Muni, after concluding the story, he is concluding that, oh, Prachin Barhi, in this way, I have given spiritual all these instructions indirectly. Parokshena pradarshitam. So why parokshena pradarshitam? One nice point, Narad Muni says that yet yet paroksha priyo devo Bhagavan Vishwa Bhavanaha. The Lord is said to be paroksha priya. He is very much dear when he is glorified indirectly. Indirect expression he very much likes. So Bhagavan Vishwa Bhavanaha, he is the master of this whole universe. So in this way, it is in the Uddhava Gita also it was mentioned that Lord likes if someone indirectly glorifies him. So in this way, Narada Muni is indirectly glorified the position of the Paramatma and Atma, he explained. So in this way I have allegorically narrated this story. So in this way he kind of instructed. So here, after hearing this, Prachin Barhi, when he heard that I have narrated this allegory, so he requests Narada Muni to explain the allegory. So that time Narada Muni, he completely explains the allegory, that whatever we have discussed, that this Puranjana is the Jiva, and he doesn't have any this like his city, his body, it is not this, he doesn't have any these things. These are all, he's actually the Jiva is unknown friend, is the Supreme Lord, and he attained his association with material intelligence, Prakriti. So in this way, all this kind of whatever we have discussed, all this analogy, he kind of explains. So after explaining this analogy, so Narada Muni, he starts giving more knowledge. So this knowledge of that Narada Muni gives, it kind of produces kind of detachment in the body, in the life of this Prachin Barhi. So he kind of glorifies, he kind of condemns the kind of the he kind of like material karma, he kind of condemns and he gives. So when the Jiva, when he forget the Supreme Lord, when he is identifying with the gunas, he is become attached to the gunas, and he starts at that time performing the activities under Rajoguna, Sattva-guna, Tamo-guna, and because of that he takes different bodies according to those actions. Sometimes through sattva, he goes to illumination, like by knowledge he will get illuminated. And but some like through actions, through other actions like tamoguna and other actions, he attains different planets which are filled with ignorance and lamentation. So sometimes he became a man, sometimes he is a woman. So in this way he kind of suffers. Sometimes he is eunuch. Sometimes he is a devata, human, animal. So in this way, according to modes, he kind of attains different bodies. And it was mentioned just like the dog, which goes when it is afflicted by hunger, it goes from house to house and asks for food. But sometimes that dog, it will get some food or sometimes some chastisement. So, like in the form of a stick. So, therefore, the jiva also wandering in this high and low paths. So sometimes he enjoys, sometimes he gets some bodies which are not at all agreeable in all the three worlds. So in this way, there is the jiva going in different species. It doesn't attain any relief for the miseries. There is no cessation of miseries one after another. The miseries will come by his activities. Sometimes, mm, to reduce the miseries, a person uh, he tries to perform some activity, but what will happen? What is that is compared is sometimes a person carries a big load. So here, after some time, that will become very heavy. So therefore, he may change his load from his right hand to left hand. So, but still that load is there. So again, the suffering will come here. So in this way, this living entity, when is performing karma, so all the remedies are compared to shifting one heavy burden from one shoulder to another shoulder. So therefore, just one activity cannot be counteracted by more activity. So all these activities, karma, they are all taking place under the shelter of ignorance. So it is like compared to suffering of a dream when one sleeps. So that means in a sleep, sometimes one different dreams will come. So as long as he is sleeping in the dreaming, he will he suffers or enjoys. But as soon as he gets up, immediately all the things will go away. So samsara will only be stopped by destroying this samsara. Otherwise, this will continue. So therefore, the solution, therefore, is that though he is artehi avidyamanepi samsritir na nivartate. Although it is not factual that a living entity is covered with the body, this association, living entities never gets contaminated. But uh, because of his identification, the suffering will not cease. Just like in a dream, the suffering will never stop unless he comes out of the dream. So as long as he is identifying with the body. So similarly, this samsara, this suffering is not real for the soul, but as long as he is identifying with this body, through that identification, that will give suffering to that body. Because of that identification, he suffers. But as soon as he gets up, that means he realizes that original nature of the jiva. So that time all the sufferings will go away. So from ignorance only, this continuous parampara of miseries will continue. So, and only by performing bhakti to Guru, so that samsriti, that samsara will go away. So then the stage of prema bhakti will completely arise in the Lord. So in this way, the solution is like attaining the Guru and performing bhakti towards the Lord, surrendering, one will come out. So it was mentioned that hearing, if someone continues to hear about the Lord, finally that hearing will leads to the seeing of the Lord. That means attaining the prema for the Lord. So in that prema, so again the glorification of bhakti will come. Yatra Bhagavata Rajan Sadavo Vishadashayaha Bhagavad Gunanukadana Shravana Vyagrachetasaha. Wherever the Bhagavatas are there, where in that assembly, when they are very eager to hear the qualities of the Lord, there will be profuse streams of nectar of the pastimes of the Lord will flow. Tasmin Mahan Mukharita Madhubit Charitra, where is like very nectar, it will kind of flowing Piyusha Shesha Sarita Paritasravanti. These will start flowing, these nectarian glorification of the Lord. Taye pibanti avitrusho nupagada karne. With open ears, if someone drinks those nectarian pastimes of the Lord, tanas prashanti ashana trudbaya shokamoha. For them, the like other miseries like the hunger, thirst, all thirst, fear, lamentation, illusion, these will not touch him. So in this way, the devotees they are kind of always eager to hear the glories of the Lord. Here that Gada Karne is mentioned. So that means the ears, they are when the nectar is flowing in, they open in such a way that it should not go out, it should not float. So in this way, they are very eagerly, he is kind of he is very kind of eagerly hearing. So in this way, the glory of bhakti is mentioned. So, but people who are like disturbed, they always concerned about their bodily things. They do not cultivate attachment to hearing process. So those who are continuously disturbed by hunger, thirst, fear, lamentation, and illusion, they don't develop attraction for hearing the topics of the Lord. So in this way he says, and to understand the Lord, it is very difficult that even great personalities like Brahma, Shiva, Manu, Daksha, mm, like four Kumaras, Marichi, Atri, Angri, all these things we all know Vedas and we know how to speak and but still even when we are reflecting about the Lord, still we cannot completely understand the Lord who is observing everything. So that means uh, they like one cannot never completely understand the Lord. Such are the glories of the Lord. So in this way, those who worship, those may sometimes the people may study the Vedas and they worship the devatas, which are so many different devatas may they, but they may not understand the Supreme Lord. But only when the Lord bestows His mercy, that time only people can understand the Lord. Means only by devotional service only one can understand the Lord. Otherwise, it is not possible. So, and when the Lord shows His mercy, the devotee kind of gives up thinking of karma kanda and material affairs. He thinks about the Lord. So therefore, O Prachin Barhi, don't make your ultimate goal as the prescribed karmas, which may seem to be legal goals, but which are may be very, very pleasing to hear, but they will not always, they will not produce any substantial results. And people who doesn't know their own planets, foolish people, they don't know the law about the Lord's planet where the Lord resides. Swam lokam navadistevai yatra devo janardana, where the Lord Janardana resides. That about people, foolish people doesn't know. So not knowing this, people talk of the Vedas and Dhumradiyo Vedam Sakarmakam Atadvidha. They talk about the prescribed karmas which are described in the Vedas. Means they have like kind of contaminated intelligence. So in this way, because of not knowing the place of Vaikunta where the Lord resides, they talk about Swarga and other things. So other materialistic activities. And then he kind of uh, chastises Prachin Barhi that you have covered this whole earth with kushagras and performed so many sacrifices and This is not actually pleasing activity to the Lord. So, but that activity which pleases the Lord, that is the supremely pleasing activity. So that activity by which one able to concentrate on the Lord, that is actually real knowledge. So that Lord Hari is actually the soul of all beings, and he is the mother and father of all this universe, and he is his lotus feet is the shelter of all the people. He is the supreme controller, shelter of everyone. So that Hari is the real father. He is the soul of all the beings, mother and father of this whole universe. So, and from his feet only, all auspiciousness will come, and it will act like Sharana, for a shelter for all the beings. So, he is also most beloved. Savai Priyatamas Chatma, most beloved. And he is, when the Jiva, he worships the Lord, he becomes also fearless. So one who knows about both the Lord and the Jiva, he is learned person. So that learned person, she should be considered as your guru. So in this way, one should worship the Lord. So in this way, your question, like what is this analogy, has been answered. Now I will narrate one more incident, one more pastime. So you understand this thing. So, like that, he starts narrating a deer allegory. One more allegory he kind of gives. He says that there is a deer, you set out for the deer. So, the deer, he is grazing on grass, and he is enjoying with his mate in the garland of flowers, and his ears of the deer is attracted to the songs of all the bees, and he is moving in that way, enjoying the different things, but he is not considering that there is a hungry tiger in front of him, and there is also an hunter behind that deer. So this is the nature of the deer, you should understand. So that he is talking about the deer, which is like the deer has a calamity awaiting him, but he is not know that there is a calamity. He is enjoying on some insignificant grass, and he is associating, like enjoying in a garden of flowers. He is listening to the songs. That means he is like enjoying his senses. So in front there are woes, but he is not considering. That means there are different dangers that are there, but he is not able to consider. So that you should consider that the sense enjoyment which comes from the senses, they are actually insignificant, like the fragrance in that garden that deer is enjoying, and his mind is always absorbed in his wife in the material enjoyment. So you should extremely and his ears are also extremely attractive for gossip with women, and similarly songs of the bees, like that. So in this way he is kind of this death is kind of coming. It is luring and it is piercing arrows. So you should understand that heat is coming. So one should be very careful. So reflecting on the actions of the deer, you fix yourself in the heart, and the result of fruitive activity. So give up all the materialistic activities, topics discussed by materialistic activities. Accept the simple hut, and by of the devotees, and you gradually become detached from this material world. So like that, so he kind of gives Narada Muni this knowledge of deer, allegory. So after hearing this, Prachini Barhi was kind of very much convinced about what Narada Muni is saying. Then he starts asking one more interesting question, and Wo's answer is also very interesting. So we'll see the question. Maybe we'll discuss the answer next time. So he is saying that, oh Narada Muni, I have heard what and considered whatever things you are speaking. Actually, my teachers, they don't know this. Otherwise, why they have instructed me on karma? So therefore, they don't know that bhakti is higher than karma. So they made me only study karma and made me perform so many sacrifices. So, but from today onwards, you are like kind of my guru, and you have destroyed my great doubt. These created by these teachers, this that karma by your teachings. Be even these people who are self-controlled, still they also got bewildered. So out of illusion, they are performing karma, and they are making me also perform this karma. So my that doubt uh, was previously that bhakti, jnana, and vairagya had that regarding those statements, and whatever knowledge you have spoken, all those doubts were cut off. But these people are engaging me in karma, so therefore they are also bewildered. So then he asks one question. He says, a person gives up a body. After giving up body, he takes up another body. So that body by which a person performed action, so that body was kind of given up, but he is kind of enjoying the results in a different body, in another planet after death. So this is like in the path of karma kanda, like after body is given, he has to enjoy. So in that I have this doubt. Please destroy that doubt, kind of thing he's asking. So he's saying that a person, he gives up the body, and he kind of attained the result of Swarga in another body. So this is explained in scripture. So how is it that suitable? That means he is performing actions in a particular body, but he is enjoying the results in a different body. So how is it that two different bodies he is kind of enjoying? This is not proper. So, and he says that like this is like mentioned in the Vedavadis, they have kind of mentioned. And also, whenever a person performs an activity, that activity, after he performs, that activity is done. So, how is it that he is kind of enjoying the result of that activity in the future? Because that activity is already done. So, that what activity is done, that result, how is he enjoying in the next life? So that means he basically his doubt is like in this life, in this body, one body is performing activities, but it seems that in different body he is kind of achieving the result. How is it that in one body he performs results and one in another body he is kind of achieving the results? So this is doubt. So basically the principle of karma, how does it work? Kind of he is asking. So Narada Muni very nicely he answers this doubt through the concept of reincarnation, the concept of how subtle body moves from one body to another body. Basically, Narada Muni says that you are saying one body he performed and he enjoys or suffers in another body, but actually, whatever body he performs activity, with the same body he suffers or enjoys in the next life, because that is actually the subtle body that carries through. So that analysis he is done. He has done. So very interesting analogy. So that analysis we will see. We will try to understand that in the next time. So I'll stop here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare-
So now on next time onwards, this time we will to
Yeah,
attend.
we will try to see this time.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. This is the best time.
No problem. Thank
Okay.
you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Randra Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai Srila Prabhupada.